Let's talk about this Oklahoma State South Alabama game tonight. Last Thursday, absolutely loved the Cowboys when they opened up at home against Tulsa, used them as a top rated 15 dime best bet, and cashed with ease. Now, I like them tonight, but I think the best bet on the board is actually in baseball, and that's where I'm going for baseball winner number 7 out of 8 and top rated 15 dime best bet winner number 5 out of 6. And that happens to be another half price play of the day release. And you can get that coupon code, which, by the way, is an easy word, half, over on the site. And it matches my winner with the Cubs 1-0 at Pittsburgh on Wednesday, which you got for half price, and the Astros on a 3-1 run line win behind Justin Verlander at Seattle on Tuesday. Again, I like Oklahoma State tonight, but they're laying more points, 28, at South Alabama, and I'm going to tell you why I'm relegating them to free pick status tonight rather than putting my money on them like I did last Thursday. Now, last Thursday at home against Tulsa, one of the reasons that I really love the Cowboys is that I thought that they had a whole off season to remember, and I'm sure Mike Gundy drilled into them nonstop. Remember what happened last year at home when you had that lackluster effort that cost you big time against Central Michigan. Yes, the officials blew the call, but if it wasn't for the fact that Oklahoma State played uninspired ball, they never would have been in the position to lose to the Chippewas on a bad officials call in the first place. And you saw that they came out, they were aggressive, they took the 21-0 lead at the end of one quarter last week at home against Tulsa. Now, both teams were 10-3 a year ago, but Tulsa was reloading. They had a new quarterback, they had lost their two top wide receivers, they were not nearly as talented as the Golden Hurricane were a year ago. But what concerned me last week in that Oklahoma State victory was the fact that in the second quarter, both teams put 17 points on the board. Now, Oklahoma State reasserted control in the third quarter, but in the fourth quarter, Gundy, rightfully so, playing at home with a big double-digit lead, cleared the bench. Now, you're asking me to lay 28 points with the Cowboys tonight at South Alabama. Now, South Alabama is not that good, and South Alabama should be blown out here tonight. This is not the Jaguars team that upset San Diego State and Mississippi State at home a year ago. This is a team that went to Ole Miss last week and found itself in a ball game, trailing only 13-10 at halftime. But then, in the third quarter, the Rebels woke up, outscored the Jaguars 27-3 in the third quarter. And Shea Patterson, the Ole Miss quarterback, 28 for 35, 429 yards and 4 touchdowns. And his top receiver, A.J. Brown, 8 catches, 233 yards against a Jaguars secondary that is just banged up because of injuries. So now you have Mason Rudolph coming in. Mason Rudolph, one of who I think is a top 4, maybe a top 3 quarterback in the country, coming off a 20 for 24 performance, good for 303 yards and 3 touchdowns against Tulsa at home. And he has a great wide receiver in James Washington, who against Tulsa, 6 catches, 145 yards, and 2 touchdowns last week. They are going to do some big-time damage here against this South Alabama secondary. Trust me, they are definitely going to do some damage. Remember, last year, Rudolph led the nation's 9th-ranked passing attack, threw for 4,091 yards, 28 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. In his 10 wins last year, he completed 65.4% of his passes. And the offensive line, if they give him any pass protection, which they did last week, I mean, the offensive line has allowed 69 sacks the past couple of years, but they have 4 offensive line starters back. And the other thing with Oklahoma State is they have a deep, deep backfield. You know, what is his name? Justice Hill last week. And basically 3 quarters of, you want to say, limited action, had a great start for Oklahoma State. 15 carries, 132 yards. So once he took a seat, and when he was spelled, he's a sophomore. They brought in J.D. King. He went for 95 yards on 6 carries. So that's a powerful 1-2 punch that I don't think South Alabama is going to be able to stop. So when this Cowboys offense gets rolling, I don't think South Alabama has the type of quick strike, up-tempo offense that is going to be able to match Oklahoma State point for point in this game. Cole Garvin, who won the starting job this offseason for South Alabama, He's got 95 career pass attempts. He only had one pass longer than 20 yards against Ole Miss. Yes, 19 for 31, 240 yards passing. He ran for a couple of touchdowns, but I just don't think they're going to be able to stretch the field against Oklahoma State. Now, Oklahoma State, you look at their defense last year, they gave up a lot of points. But again, they were playing in the Big 12 where everybody scores points. And South Alabama simply does not have that type of high-powered offense to challenge them. So Oklahoma State won comfortably at home last week, 59-24. And that was a Thursday night. Remember, South Alabama may be playing at home, but South Alabama is also playing on the short week. They are being penalized for this game because they played Saturday in Oxford. So not only is it a short week, it's a turnaround where they're playing off a road game, coming back home. Oklahoma State having the home game, extra time to prepare, even though it's a road game. This all benefits the Cowboys. But does Gundy run up the score? Does Gundy pull the troops after 3 quarters? I still like Oklahoma State in this game. I think they could win this game easily, 48-14. But what happens if this game is somewhere in the 52-30 range, right? I still like Oklahoma State, though. I think that if you're going to play this game, you have to lay the points with Oklahoma State. It's the only way to go in this contest. So Oklahoma State is going to be my play in this contest because, again, I still think the motivating factor for the Cowboys here is that in non-conference games the past couple of years, actually the past 3-4 seasons, boy, the Cowboys have laid some big-time eggs over these years. And this is just a situation that Gundy has got to, I've got to believe, has pounded into his team that they cannot afford any lackluster efforts. And a 3-0 start's awaiting them because they play Pittsburgh next, and that's another team that they should roll up easily on. So Oklahoma State minus the points is going to be your play. The other games tonight, what are we talking about? Florida International and Acorn State? Really? And what's the other game? Ohio and Purdue. The last time I won a game involving the Ohio Bobcats, I couldn't tell you when. So I have no opinion on either of those games. We'll do this again on Saturday.